Tokyo Ghoul episode 12. Oh my god. Oh my, I was so hyped the entire time because I knew what was coming at the end. And it's kind of a bittersweet thing because, like I said in my last review, last episode, it was just full of fights. There was Yomo and Tsukiyama versus that masked guy. There was Toka versus Ayato, and there was this owl that popped up out of nowhere. And I was wondering, how are they going to fit all of that in the final episode? So it does suck to see that we won't see the outcome of those awesome fights until there's a season 2. Hopefully there's going to be. But I am also glad that they focused their attention on Kaneki and his transformation this episode. It is very faithful to the manga. The only thing that's a little bit different is how his hair changed. Like in the manga, his hair changed over time from the stress of being tortured over and over. But in the episode, it just changed like in a second, like on some Super Saiyan stuff. Like that was when he awoken his ghoul side, which is awesome either way in my opinion. I actually kind of like it like this. But for those of you that have seen the episode before I did and sent me messages about how Rize is actually talking to Kaneki, she's not. He's just going crazy. That's just everything you saw, the White Room, seeing his mom, seeing Toka, Hinami, and even Hide getting killed by Yamori, it was all in his subconscious. He realizes that he has to step it up. He cannot live like his mother did, or he will end up dying, and other people will be hurt. He believes that if he gets hurt, to spare other people getting hurt, that's the way to live. But in that way, other people get hurt anyway. And Kaneki eating Rize was just a symbol that he has finally accepted his ghoul side. And I like how when Rize asked him, do you accept me? He's like, no, I'm going to surpass you. And when he got on top of her, am I the only one that thinks that that was kind of hot? Rize is fine. So half the episode, Rize was playing the ghost of Christmas past, like showing Kaneki what's going to happen if he continues living like his mother did, and he would eventually die like she did, like I said before. And I find it interesting to see that when he finally gave in and accepted his ghoul side, he even went as far as to say he would take his aunt's life if it meant that it could save his mother. And I was like, whoa. That's not the Kaneki we've known for the past 11 episodes, but it's not. Did you guys see that fucking fight? It's more awesome than what I originally thought it would be. Now, if only we can get an uncensored version. But this episode was full of feels, man. It was really sad to see Kaneki say that you should have chose me, Mom. You should have lived for me. Fuck your sister. I'm your son. And I like how it shows how Hide was always there for Kaneki as soon as his mom passed. And he did the signature Hide run behind Kaneki. That's always hilarious. But in my opinion, the saddest part of this episode had to be the death of that couple, man. I mean, Kaneki, he couldn't bring himself to choose. He even told Yamori to kill him to spare them. But after he killed Haru, I believe that's her name. The guy, man, he just looked pissed off. And you can tell it was directed at Kaneki. And then how Yamori said, this is your fault, while holding up his head. And then killing him in front of Kaneki. That could make anyone snap. Not to mention that Kaneki is getting his toes and fingers cut off and forced to regrow over and over and over again. And I'm so glad that they finally told us what was going on with Kaneki. Because last episode, the thing with the centipede and Yamori torturing him, we weren't exactly told what was going on. And this makes me wonder why that was even in the last episode, if they went into such depth this episode. Like, that time last week could have been, you know, used towards the fights and stuff. So I think that Kaneki should have been tortured this episode, and last one should have been just something else. I don't know why, man. When Yamori killed Haru and the guy, his eyes just went white and he was biting on that cloth and looking at Kaneki, man, that it really got to me, man. You can really see the rage and the fucking hate he felt towards Kaneki at his final moment. But Yamori killed him anyway, so he's not going to be a problem, which is fucked up to say. But that still really sucked, man, and it really fucked up Kaneki. And before I forget to mention this, I am so glad that Yamori actually said what he did with the centipede, because like I said in the last episode, you know, there wasn't any confirmation of what he did. He just pulled it out. And the centipede was inside of Kaneki's head the entire fight. Like, he pulled it out. It was like off screen, but you can hear it and you can kind of see it a little bit. And man, let's talk about this fucking fight, yo. So Yamori comes back in the room, sees Kaneki with the white hair, says, I'm about to eat you because I gotta go whoop some ass in a little bit. And when he said that the next target of the Aguri tree is Anteku, And Kaneki didn't move at all, already knew some shit was about to go down. As soon as he put out his Kagane about to stab Kaneki, he broke the fuck out and bit his ear before he even knew what the fuck happened. And he even says, dude, you taste like shit. And then Yamori gets even more pissed off, says she's gonna eat him until he's a sloppy mess. Like, that's graphic, dude. I wish the anime was actually that graphic. But anyway, his Kagane turns into a Kakuja. And for those of you that don't know what the Kakuja is, I'm not going to spoil it. If you really want to know, read the manga or inbox me. But it's like an upgraded version of a Kagane. And then the epic battle starts, man. Kaneki is so cocky, and I just love how he gets the finger pop thing from Yamori. It's so badass to see him do it. But the most badass part in this entire episode to me has to be when Yamori twisted Kaneki's leg and then it just twisted back around like a fucking top or something. He's like, bitch, do you know what you put me through? This shit doesn't hurt at all. And he commenced the ass whooping, and even when he got impaled by the Kagane and thrown like fucking NASCAR speeds against the wall, he just walked away and said, it's my turn, bitch. And he went the fuck in. Did you see how long his Kagane got? He was like on fucking stilts, man, at one point. Kaneki is so badass, he shattered Yamori's Kakuja. I was like, shit, man. And that cliffhanger, though, that fucking cliffhanger at the end, when he pinned him down like Yamori was just some innocent child. I mean, Yamori couldn't do anything against Kaneki at that point and said, what's 1,000 minus 7, bitch? Don't make me ask you again. And then when he pulls the centipede out of his ear and says, if it's okay if I eat your bitch ass, I was like, man. It cut off right there. I'm like, fuck, man. We are this close from seeing what happens to Ayato. And for those of you that reads the manga, that is when Kaneki really shines. He really shows how twisted and demented he became after he got the white hair. So I'm like, fuck, they could at least show that or given like a little glimpse or something, because Kaneki, after this point, this badassness that you've seen, this right here, the finger popping Kaneki, is pretty much here to stay. So if you enjoyed Kaneki's transformation, I highly recommend that you read the manga, because he does way more badass things than what he did in this episode. And this was a beautiful, awesome finale. This is exactly how I wanted this episode to be. I'm so glad that they revisited the centipede part and him getting white hair than from the last episode, because it was a rush. It was everywhere last episode was. And for those of you that have been asking me to review the final chapter, the epic yet very controversial final chapter of Tokyo Ghoul, I will review that tomorrow. I kind of wanted to wait after this episode came out, because I'm pretty sure a lot of anime watchers, after seeing this awesome episode, are going to run straight to the manga. So I will review that tomorrow, but I have a lot to say about that ending. So you may call this conclusion biased, but this episode, even with all the censorship and other things that are kind of missing from the manga, I rate this a fucking 20 out of 10, man. This was a beautiful season finale, even though it cut off at a horrible part, man. There are so many more epic things Kaneki can do in the very next episode if they would just animate one more. But it was still an awesome ending. It left off on such a cliffhanger. I can't help but feel that there's going to be a season 2. It may even end up all the way to the end of the manga, which would be epic. But it's just crazy how an anime can come out of nowhere and just dominate the entire season. This anime and also Akame ga Kill are like one of the most epic animes. They are the most epic animes this season, in my opinion. And it's just crazy that I've never even heard of this before. And as soon as I watched the first episode, I was like, fuck, this is going to go places. And same thing for Attack on Titan when it came out. Same thing for Sword Art Online. There are probably so many more manga out there that are just fucking epic that are about to get an anime adaptation that I don't know about yet. And this honestly makes me want to read more manga. Tell me what you guys thought about this awesome, just damn near flawless episode. Do you have hopes for a season 2? Have they even said anything about it? Let me know. Are you going to read the manga after this? This has been JB Uchiha. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'm out.